Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Heal Lift Rise. My name is Carla. Thank you all so very much for joining me here. I truly appreciate every single one of you, all of your love, support, and kindness to my channel. I wanted to talk today about some messages that kind of came through. First and foremost, it kind of relates to shadow work. So for those of you that are not familiar with it, it's really about bringing the unconscious to conscious, making the unconscious conscious within ourselves. And I'm going to share with you some examples of what kind of came through, but this is something that we all can just practice, and it really takes awareness. The only way we can truly have change within ourselves and in our lives is if we have awareness. And that's why maybe in certain circumstances in your own life, certain relationships, certain individuals don't change, or you try to force change onto them, but people aren't going to change if they don't have any awareness that they need to change or that they should change. It really takes awareness within their own self, within their own consciousness, to have that desire to change something that they feel that they need to change. So a couple examples of like how this can look is interactions that we have with other people, people that we meet, everyday interactions. Let's say you meet somebody and you start to feel like you're jealous or envious of another person, right? Like you see somebody and you're just like, oh my gosh, like she or he is like just so beautiful, or blah, 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 blah. Whatever you're feeling, you start to feel like jealous or envious, right? So having an awareness of the fact that you're feeling that, right? All it takes is having awareness that you're feeling that in order for you to start to change that. So obviously that never feels good to feel that way towards somebody else. But if you can notice it and you can change that narrative within yourself and kind of ask questions to yourself of like why you're feeling this way, why are you feeling jealous or envious of somebody else, right? And the more you can reflect and dive deep on that, the more that you can start to change the narrative, change that story, and change the feeling within yourself. And more often than not, in most of our cases of when we have certain interactions, and it's kind of similar to that, is it's just about having more self-love for ourselves, like giving ourselves the love and the attention and nurturing that we need, so then we don't experience that really. But also on a deeper level, it's how much do you really love and just own who you are? Because I feel like the more that we love ourselves, the more that we own who we are, we're less likely to experience that, because we're just so much in tuned and in touch with who we are and really loving who we are. So I felt like sharing this because I felt like it's really, really, really important to make aware of the unsettling feelings that we like harbor inside of ourselves, like the sudden feelings that rise up, and if we don't acknowledge it and we just blame other people for the way that we feel, and then we are not actually allowing ourselves to change. We're pointing blame, placing blame, and it's truly not anybody else's fault for what is arising within us that we have to look at. Like, we are awareness, right? Inside a physical body. Like, we are a spirit in a body. We are this awareness. And the more that we can like become aware of feelings, of what comes up, observe them, reflect, allow ourselves to like process, release, like it becomes second nature to us, and we can have a completely different experience of life. And we're the ones stuck in, I don't want to say stuck, we're like in this body, where it's us, it's our soul and in this body. And so it's like we have to get really comfortable and good at being able to handle handle feelings, handle emotions, handle energy. When certain feelings and emotions come up, we have to be really good at like processing it, transmuting it, allowing ourselves not to get attached and stuck in like dense energy and like thought patterns and such like that. Because if we don't allow ourselves to release, and we hold on to stories, and we hold on to replaying old like bad situations, we are keeping ourselves stuck in a certain energy that isn't good for us. It's like it's hindering our growth. It hinders our movement forward, because we're replaying stories, and it's basically bringing that same energy into the present moment. So when you're like reliving the past, you're bringing that energy back into your present moment, because all we ever have is now. All we ever have is this moment. Time, doesn't exist. It's a man-made concept, right? Like all we ever have is this moment that is right here, and it's what is right in front of us, like right here, right now. And it made me think of that song from the 90s, Right Here, Right Now. I think it's by Jesus. I don't remember his last name, but it's like Jesus, but I think it's pronounced Jesus. Right Here, Right Now. That's a really good song. But that kind of came to me as I was saying that. So yeah, we always have to be willing to be with right here and right now, and experiencing life from the present moment is going to give you so much more fulfillment, so much more joy, and the ability to handle life so much better, because you're not operating from a place of past pain. You're not operating from stress or anxiety about the future and what your future is going to be like. Because I think that sometimes we can tend to be really forward focusing so much on the future that we forget to really enjoy like the process of this moment, and like what we are creating now, and how we are spending our energy now, like currently in our present moment. And I know it is a practice. It's something we have to like continuously choose, like create habits of excellence. I talked about that in one of my videos. Like creating habits of excellence, of like choosing good and continuously. And it's like something we have to continuously choose and practice, like set into place. And I know that can be really challenging when you're new to it, when you're first starting out, because it's so different than what you're used to, than what like you've programmed what your mind's been programmed to run off of and to choose. And I guess it can always go either way too. Like we don't want to try to become perfectionists, but understanding that when we make good choices, and we continuously make good choices, we can then affect the way our reality is. We can affect the way our future unfolds, because we're continuously choosing what's best for us, what is good. And that's going to be different for everybody on so many different levels. But I feel like the biggest part of our ability to change is how much awareness we have to change it. And the fact, having awareness is what creates change. Because if you were to not have any awareness of it, you wouldn't be able to change it. If somebody is a habitual liar, this is just an example, but it just kind of like came to me, made me think of a situation. But if somebody's like a habitual liar, okay, and they believe their lies, they believe that they're not a liar, they're not going to have any awareness to change, because they believe in their lies. They believe in the story that they're telling themselves, the story that they're telling others, and that's just going to be their reality. And that's just what it is. Even if you don't like it, even if you don't like the fact that they lie, and, or whatever, it doesn't matter. They won't change, and you can't force them to change if they have no awareness that they even need to change. Because in their mind, and in, you know, they might believe that they're not a liar and that there is no need for them to change because they believe the lies, they believe the stories that they tell themselves. And that's a whole nother story of, but it's basically like, just leave them where they are. You have to let people be where they are. We cannot force people to change. But awareness creates change. And if you have a desire to want to change and become, which is almost like this unbecoming, but because it's like a releasing of like all that you're not, and kind of like awakening and enlivening your soul. But it's like, if you have this desire to be your best self, the best self, what would the best self choose? What would your best self choose? What would your best self do? What would your best self say? What are the thoughts that you would keep? What are the thoughts that, you know, you would seed? Like, what is it that you would continue to allow to grow in your mind? Would it be positive, empowering, enriching thoughts, you know? And you kind of like have to examine, like have this self-awareness of the thoughts you're telling yourself, the thoughts that you're keeping, and so to speak, like that. So, you know, it's one of those, I guess, kind of like tricky, slippery slopes. I don't know why that came through, but it's like something you have to tread lightly with, you know. But like, to understand yourself, you have to be aware of the way your mind works, like getting in touch with yourself, seeing how you operate. How does your mind work? What are the thoughts you keep? What are the choices you make? Is everything helping you, or is it hindering you? You know, is it empowering you, or is it bringing you down? Because that's something you have to get honest about, you know, and have awareness. And if you have any kind of awareness of certain feelings and things that you experience, like if you have a tendency towards, like, if you experience jealousy, if you experience certain things, like if you have awareness of that, you will heal that, because you have awareness of it. And if you're aware that you get this way, you have a greater chance of working with that, releasing it, changing the story of whatever you're telling yourself when that comes up, or whatever you're experiencing. And you can learn to pour into yourself. You can learn to like give yourself more love. Because I do believe that when we have, or when we experience jealousy or envy or anything like that, I do believe it's because we're not filling up our own cup. I do believe that it's like we're not pouring into ourselves and working on ourselves enough. And I notice for my own life, like I tend to feel better about myself when I'm actually pouring into myself, when I'm actually working on myself and choosing things that make me feel good. Like, you know, making healthy choices when it comes to like food, and making healthy choices when it comes to like allowing myself to move my body. Like if whether I'm going for a run or I'm doing yoga, like any type of workout that I'm doing, like something that helps me feel good about myself, because I'm sweating and I'm allowing my body to, you know, release like, you know, certain chemicals and things that like in my brain that help me to actually increase my level of happiness. And, you know, and then I start to feel better about myself, because I'm like, I chose to do this. And you know, again, it's like pouring into yourself. It's like you're an investment, and you have to invest in yourself. Because I truly feel like when you can invest in yourself and you can pour into yourself, the rewards are exponentially like infinite. Like you can receive so much back from pouring into yourself and making yourself a priority to want to feel good. But again, all of this starts from awareness, from just having awareness of what you feel in certain situations, how you're feeling inside, what is coming up for you. And if you're even like going to the next level of taking it from a higher perspective of like, does this really matter? You know, is this really necessary to, I don't want to say necessary to experience, like, because you're experiencing it for a reason, but it's like, is this is something to look at, and it like, is this something that's positive? This is something that's like helpful to me, or does it hinder me? Obviously it doesn't hinder you to it obviously it hinders you. Sorry, somebody messaged me. It's obviously it hinders you if you're feeling a negative type of way. It hinders your growth. It hinders your ability to see people for who they are instead of having like preconceived, judgments and like unwanted feelings within yourself. Like, so these are things that you could ask yourself, like, this is something to look at. When these things pop up, this is something to look at. This is something to look at. Where am I not feeling whole within myself? Where am I not feeling really good into myself? Like, this is a sign I need to pour into myself. I need to love myself and give myself so much love. I've been practicing more self-love stuff that I'm like experimenting with to see how this enhances my self-love, enhances my reality, my experiences. Like, I'm experimenting with self-love stuff to see how it changes my reality, and I feel like it actually does. But I want to like take it further and actually experiment with this for a while to see if it's something I want to kind of create and put out there. But yeah, so I truly feel that with awareness, everything can change for you. You can change your whole reality with awareness. And all it takes is you identifying, your feelings, of asking yourself why you feel what you feel in certain situations, certain interactions, and allow yourself to be gentle with yourself and come back to loving yourself. Come back to loving yourself. Because true change starts with your awareness of yourself, self-awareness. And I truly believe everybody has the ability to change. It just really starts with looking within yourself instead of looking outside of yourself and wanting the world to change. You must change. And as you change, your reality will change, connections will change. So much changes when you do. It starts with you. It's like, and then everything just like I don't want to say everything spins around you, but it's just like everything like rearranges itself. Reality rearranges itself based upon you, your energy, your frequency, and how you're carrying yourself and all the love that you're exuding. Anyways, I know I'm just like going off on a tangent here. I don't even know what I just talked about for the last 18 minutes. This is kind of crazy. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you found this video useful, helpful. I hope it inspired you. I hope it made you feel so already like amazing like you are. And I hope you remember that you are who you've been looking for, and you are so much greater and so much more powerful than you realize, and everything starts inside of you. Everything is within you. It's within reach for you to discover. All the questions you have, they're within you, and you know the answers. You are your greatest teacher. And I believe in you. And until next time, my friends, take very good care. I love you all so, so much. Bye.